Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! It's your girl Rashika, aka Ro or Mrs. Kelly. For those of you who are new here, I am a flight attendant for a major US airline. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to talk about 10 tips and tricks when traveling or for traveling, okay? So if you're interested in this kind of video, just keep on watching.
All that history, all that's history, I'll calm down eventually.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Tip number one. Tip number one would be to download the Airlines app. You might think that's so self-explanatory and so obvious, but a lot of people don't know that if you download the Airlines app, they have a lot of useful information on there. A lot of times you can get your boarding pass on there. You can check in. A lot of times they have like a tracker where you can see where your plane is. Also, for my airline, once you have your flight information in there, it tells you 1 hour till boarding. It sends you notifications telling you, hey, they just started boarding. They're in group one, they're in group two, they're in group A, group B, whatever it is. So, first order of business, once you've booked your plane ticket and everything, download that airlines app, put in your flight information, and then it'll give you it'll push you notification. It'll even tell you when to check in, because you can check in 24 hours prior to your flight departure. So tip number one, download that app. Also, if you see me looking to the side, I just have my notes to the side just so I keep up with what I'm saying. So tip number two is to notify your bank that you're traveling. So I'm one of those people who fly international all the time. Obviously, I do domestic flying when I'm working, but in my leisure time, I fly international all the time. Now, for me, I do have a bank account that knows I'm a flight attendant, so they are aware that I can be in the US today and in Timbuktu tomorrow. So for me, it's a little different because they are aware of what I do and that I'm like all over the place. But if you're not a person that is traveling all the time or consistently, especially if you're not traveling outside of the US consistently, then definitely let your bank know that you're traveling so that you don't get to your vacation and all of a sudden you don't have any money because your card is shut down. That's not cute. We don't like that. So definitely notify your bank if you're traveling. Also, a tip or a part of that is pull cash, because a lot of times when you go to a foreign country, they don't have a bank that is associated with your bank. So a lot of times you end up with a lot of foreign transaction fees, and those aren't very nice. So I always recommend pulling cash, obviously within the limit, but pull cash and have it on hand, because a lot of times as well they do have like a cambio or like a money exchange in the airport that you can get local currency. Okay, tip number three, give yourself enough time to make it through the airport, right? Give yourself enough time. A lot of times people try to like chance it and say, oh, well, the time of day is not busy and all. Give yourself enough time, okay? Because lately, too, a lot of people have been traveling. The airports are busy, okay? The airports are really busy, so you end up with long lines. You don't want to miss your flight because you're running late or you're running behind, or give yourself enough time. It is recommended 2 to 3 hours if you're going international, because you do have to verify different things and you need to check your bags. You got to weigh your bags, and those lines can be really long. You also want to give yourself enough time if, for example, you didn't get a chance to eat. So you want to give yourself enough time to stop and buy food, stop, maybe check out duty free if you're going international. Just give yourself enough time, okay? I'm a flight attendant. I understand how airports work. Most airports I'm very familiar with domestically, some international as well. I'm very familiar with their system and how everything kind of works. So I chance it a lot of times, but don't be like me, okay? Don't be like me. Give yourself enough time to make it through the airport. Take your time. Walk slow. Give yourself enough time so you're not rushing. Tip number 4. Guys, as a flight attendant, I always give this advice because a lot of people don't realize it causes delays, right? So, hear me out. You get to the airport, you find your gate, you found something to eat, you sit and relax, and they're like, okay, we're going to start boarding in the next 10 minutes. They're cleaning or whatever it is, whatever the announcement. That is your time. Get up and go to the bathroom. That is your time. Once again, once they make the announcement saying that they're going to start boarding in another couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so, get up and find the restroom, use the restroom, and then come back to your gate. Trust me, it's enough time. Trust me, you have enough time, okay? Once they make that announcement, go to the restroom. Because what we find that happens is that people don't do that, and then they come onto the aircraft and have to use the bathroom. But at that point, you're using the bathroom while we're boarding. So now you're trying to swim upstream while we're boarding. Guys, this causes delays. Nobody likes delays. And what we also see is after we're done boarding, everybody's settled in. The crew is getting ready to close up, secure the cabin so that we can get ready for departure. People have to use the bathroom. We cannot, by law, we cannot close the door. We cannot secure the cabin. We cannot give the pilots the go-ahead to leave if everyone is not seated. So again, it causes delays. Guys, I'm telling you, once you hear that announcement saying that they're going to start boarding shortly, get up and go to the bathroom. Trust me, it'll save you a delay. And nobody likes delays. Nobody likes delays. I've even been on a flight where we were secure and ready to go, told the captain, okay, all good to go. He gives us the go-ahead to sit down because we're ready to take off. And we had to call him to abort taking off because somebody decided to get up and go to the bathroom. Now, if you abort a takeoff, you're giving up your space in line. Now, if you're going through a busy airport, say JFK, Boston, LA, guys, there's 20, 30 flights lined up to take off. And now you've delayed your thing. So now you get pushed to the back of the line of 20 aircrafts trying to take off, not to mention aircrafts trying to land. And that could easily add another hour to your flight, okay? Easily add an hour delay. So if you have to use the bathroom, when you hear that announcement saying they're going to start boarding in 10 to 15 minutes, go use the bathroom. Take my word of advice. Next thing, after you use the bathroom, you come back. Boarding has begun. Ready to go. This is tip number 5. Tip number 5 is have your documents ready. Okay? Have your documents ready. Have your boarding pass ready. If you have a printed boarding pass, take it out. Have it ready to be scanned. If you have your boarding pass on your phone, pull it up. Have it ready. Turn up the brightness on your phone and just be prepared. Now, also, if you're going international, a lot of times they need to see your physical passport as well as the boarding pass before you can board the plane. If you're going to Jamaica, for those of you who don't know, I do live in Jamaica. You do require a C5 form, which is your immigration form. There's also a lot of countries that require an immigration form to enter the country. So a lot of times when you're leaving the U.S., you are required to show that immigration form. Jamaica is one of them, okay? Have your documents ready to go. If you need to do your C5 form, fill it out prior to getting to the airport. Have it ready. Get your verification email. Have your passport ready. Also with the passport, a lot of countries don't accept you if your passport expires within the next 6 months. So ensure that your passport is up to date, not expired, not about to expire, and have your boarding pass up and ready to go so you're not the one holding up the line, okay? Just be prepared, have that stuff ready to go. Then tip number 6 is have your in-flight essentials in your personal item, right? So here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. You get a carry-on item. Most airlines, you get a carry-on item and a personal item. Your personal item would be like your backpack, your purse, if you have a baby, your baby bag. Have your things that you will need in that flight in that smaller bag, right? Have all that stuff ready to go. So if you need your iPad or your tablet, have your charger for your phone, your charger for your tablet, your iPhone, your iPad. If you sleep with like an eye mask and you need your eye mask when you're on the flight, if you need like your moisturizer, so if you go to the bathroom, you have your little moisturizer, sunscreen. A lot of people do recommend using sunscreen on airplanes, because of the radiation and the air quality and all those things. Have your in-flight essentials in your personal item. The worst thing is having to go into your carry-on bag or wanting to go into your carry-on bag and there's turbulence or the seatbelt sign is on, so it's not safe for you to get up and open the bin. And just have it in your personal item, in your purse, in your backpack. Have your passport, all that stuff, all your important stuff in your personal item. Sorry. Number 7. Tip number 7. Sorry, guys. Tip number 7 is to bring headphones, okay? Have your headphones. For the airlines that have TVs, even if they don't have TV, you have your phone, you have your tablet, bring headphones. Buy a nice pair of headphones and have it with you. Some airlines provide headphones, however, they're usually cheap. They're not very good. Sound quality is not very good. Some airlines, like my airline, we do sell headphones. So to avoid, our headphones are pretty good, but to avoid from having to buy headphones from an airline, bring your headphones with you. You can bring your Bluetooth headphones. Also, part of that, if you have Bluetooth headphones, you can bring your Bluetooth adapter that plugs in, and you can also use it to watch TV and all of that. Bring your headphones. Also, nobody wants to hear your music. Nobody wants to hear your TikTok videos. Nobody wants to hear what you're watching, essentially. So have your headphones with you. Tip number 8. Make sure you're packing a blanket or a sweater. Make sure you're packing a blanket or a sweater. What we often see is that people come on and they're complaining because it's cold, or by the time you get to cruise altitude, which is usually somewhere above 30,000 feet, in the air, it gets cold. And a lot of times that's not necessarily because of the temperature we set it at, but because of how high we are, the aircraft will automatically become a little more chilly. Now, if you're sitting in an emergency exit row or you're sitting in the window seat, you're automatically going to get a little chillier because of the altitude. Pack your sweater, pack your blanket, and just be prepared. If you're somebody who gets cold, be prepared to just be tucked up and wrapped up. Some airlines do sell blankets. We do sell blanket, but why are you spending $11 on a blanket when you can literally just bring your blanket and be prepared? You know what I mean? We also don't turn the heat up on airlines, because what we notice is that when the heat is turned up, we end up with a lot of people getting nosebleeds. We end up with a lot of people getting sick, people throwing up, and that's a recipe for disaster. So a lot of times, most times, you will end up on an aircraft that is chillier rather than warm. Then tip number 9, guys, you might think that this is such an essential thing that people know this, people are aware of this is what you do. Pack extra underwear. Always pack extra underwear in your bag, okay? Because you never know what can happen. You never know if a flight's going to get delayed. You never know if a flight's going to get canceled. You never know if a flight will have to divert to a different city. Like, you just never know. Always pack extra underwear. I always say extra underwear and an extra outfit in your bag. Always in your carry-on item. If you don't have a carry-on, try and pack it in your personal item. Always, always, always pack extra underwear, okay? That is tip number 9. KSA, I never told you. That's tip number 9. Now, tip number 10, last but certainly not least. Once you've done all those things, you've now made it onto the aircraft, you've packed you've put your carry-on in the overhead bin, you've put your personal item underneath the seat, you're secured in your seat, you're buckled in. Relax. Breathe. Relax. Breathe. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. You've made it. Sit down, relax. Your in-flight crew is there for your safety primarily. They will also go through with their snacks and their drinks and give you the full service that you deserve. Relax, okay? Relax, take a load off. You've made it. All that hassling and all that hustle and bustle of the airport. You've gone through TSA. You've gotten yourself something to eat. You've gone to the bathroom. You have your boarding pass. You have your passport. You have all the things that you need. You're now in your seat, secure. Your family is secure if you're traveling with family. Your kids are secure if you're traveling with kids. Everybody's set up and ready to go. Everybody has their iPad, their tablet, their headphones. Breathe, okay? That is tip number 10. Breathe. Your in-flight crew, again, is there for your safety, for the security of the plane. They got your back. So, breathe. Take a load off, okay? Guys, that was tip number 10 of my 10 tips. Stamped and approved. Flight attendant. I do work for a U.S. airline, a major U.S. airline. So, these are things that I see all the time. These are my opinions of what I think would make your life so much easier when traveling. Now, if you're not familiar, you can check out all my previous videos on my page. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help your girl out. And I will be sure to bring more content about being a flight attendant, tips and tricks, so that to help you guys out when you are traveling. Again, it's your girl Rashika, aka Ro, or Mrs. Kelly, flight attendant here, checking out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
One more time. One more.